Joining me is a brilliant political panel, so much experience here. Graham Richardson, former Labor Senator and Cabinet Minister, and Barnaby Joyce, Nationals MP and former Deputy Prime Minister. Now, Barnaby, this Albanese government's global warming policy, to me, it seems to be handing our future to China. You know, we can't use our coal and gas and oil for electricity long term. We can't use our uranium, but we're going to have to use solar and wind generators, almost all coming from China.
That's correct, and I'll tell you where the swindle is in this. Okay, is not the renewable energy credits. That was a bit of a swindle. Not only things such as power purchasing agreements or deemed rate returns for investments, but they sell power. And it's a difficult thing, but you've got to understand. They sell power in 5-minute blocks, and that's like saying, well, I've got a car, and I'm going to price out the cost of running it in 5-minute blocks. Of course, what renewables does is that picks the 5-minute block where the car's going down the hill. And then it says, well, we're obviously the cheapest power around. Power should be sold in 24-hour blocks, because that's when the car goes downhill, uphill, along flat grounds, stops, starts, around the street. That is a better assessment of reliable power of what is truly cheap. And because renewables in Australia don't have the pump hydro to back them in, they really are the 5-minute opportunist power supplier. And this has had devastating effects on how our electricity market works. That's why you're paying record prices for electricity. Sometimes those 5-minute blocks, which you used to pay $35 to $45 a megawatt, have gone up to, wait for it, think of a number. I know you're probably thinking 100, 200, $15,000. $15,000. It caps out there. Right now, I was looking at the other night, it's about $260, $270 a megawatt. It's a long way up. So much for this cheap power. It's going to be cheaper. It's never been dearer at a wholesale price. Now, let's look at the batteries. They talk about these mythical batteries. In Europe, all the batteries they've got would run Europe, if there was a blackout, for, wait for it, 1 minute and 26 seconds. Now, I don't think that is how you sustain a standard of living, and that's why the Italians, the Germans, starting up their coal-fired power stations. Boris Johnson, God bless him, may rest in peace politically. He was saying we're going to have to put this aside. And you're dead right. China is sitting back, doesn't have to participate this till 2030, laughing their socks off, saying, you know, the indolent West.
No, well,
there they are.
Point. This is the point. China must be laughing at what we're doing to ourselves. And it's not just us, Europe too, America. Graham Richardson, look, I don't expect you to share that my opinion, which have developed over a couple of decades of covering the global warming scare. The global warming is a grossly exaggerated scare, and what we're doing won't actually stop it anyway. But whatever your personal views are you concerned that we are trading off our energy security and being so reliant on solar and wind generators, largely coming from China?
Well, I'm pro-coal. It's that simple. I believe that coal needs to be part of our energy mix for at least the next half a century. If it's not, then I don't think we'll have reliable power. I don't believe the lights will always turn on. I don't believe we'll always be warm in the winter and cool in the summer. So I am very much pro-coal. As far as I'm concerned, we need to dig more up. We need to use it here and export it as well. It's not just export that we want the coal for. We are going to need it here in Australia domestically.
But Graham, every single day, your Labor Party, well, sort of colleagues in government, in the Albanese government, are talking global warming, global warming, global warming, promising tougher and tougher emissions cuts that is going to cut our ability to rely on coal.
Yeah, well, so far you can get away with that because the effects of it aren't being felt yet. But if you were to do that, then you would see the cost of electricity rise alarmingly, and that would be a political break on whoever was trying to do it. In the end, you couldn't. So I'm not one of those who believes that the lights will be going out, because I think we'll be using coal for a long, long time. When the crunch comes, reality hits you right in the face, smacks you right down. And I think Labor will run up against that every time.